it doing during a cartoon? See, here's the idea. Get them thinking that one day if you grow up and you do not have what other girls have, don't worry. We will still allow you to make a statement with your body and you can have breast implants. Like when the Gap, about 4 years ago, they made jeans skirts for young girls, 10-year-old, between 8 and 10. And the skirts happened to be extremely short. The skirts were very, very short. So some parents approached their marketing department and they said, you know, with all due respect, but the skirts are very short. What are you trying to say? He said, well, see, we are trying to train these girls from a very young age how to dress sexy. Now, here's what's being implied. Instead of me seeing an innocent 10-year-old girl, they want me to see a 10-year-old that looks sexy. So again, from a very young age, we are told, use your body to make a statement with it. Now, I don't mean to be picking on girls here, but believe it or not, 25% of the surgeries, the implant surgeries that are performed are actually performed on men. 25% of it. What do you want? An extra bicep? What is it that you want? And wallahi, you can get these implants nowadays. And 25% of these surgeries are now being performed on young boys because they're not fitting the criterion that was placed for us by TV. I remember one time I was in high school when we had one of the students was absent for two weeks. So when she came back, the teacher said, I think her name was Susan, you know, Susan's got something to share with us here today. So Susan got up in front of the class. Well, I was absent for the past 2 weeks because I was in the hospital. I cut my wrist and I've attempted to kill myself. Class is shocked. Now, why? Susan, why are you doing this? She said, well, I'm not a good looking girl. I'm overweight and I just don't feel good about myself. The impact is great, my brothers and sisters. You look into anorexia, you look into bulimia. These girls are starving themselves. They are starving themselves because TV told them that in order for you to be making a good statement about yourself, to be feeling better about yourself, you must not exceed 110. Your waist must be this big. And they go around starving themselves because they want to meet the criterion there. So now the self-image psychology is not coming from within the individual themselves, but now it's whether the society around you approves of you or does not approve of you. And people are falling into this trap. They set the criterion and you have to meet this criterion. So we see this happening. Also another thing, speaking of how that really can, not control people, but they can really make you think, they control your thoughts. Okay? Did you know that there are more? Now, when you watch TV, let's say, because this is one way of giving an impression about people. You watch TV and this is what you see. You watch TV, you see Latinos. What are Latinos doing? Well, they're either maids in a hotel. Any movie that there is a hotel scene in it, who is the maid? Always a Latina. Okay? Someone is cleaning the house, it's always a Latina. Have you ever seen a movie where the professor was Latino? You don't get to see that. So now what happens is that they shape their ideas and our thoughts with these subliminal messages. So what happens is that you see an African American on TV. What are they doing? They're either being funny, they're either shooting ball, they're either dancing, or they are singing. But majority of the time you think African American, you think of athleticism. You think someone of being professional athletes. Okay? Now here is a shocking fact. There are more African American medical doctors than there are African American professional athletes in all the leagues. You know what that means? It means that as a young African American boy or a girl, your chances of becoming a medical doctor are much, much higher than your chances playing in the NBA or becoming a famous singer or a rapper or what have you. But you're getting the idea now that when you watch TV and this is what you see, then this is how you're going to think. This is how you're going to think because that's what you see. But that is the sad reality. You watch TV and there is this politician that is against welfare and they're against immigration. You see an immigrant and where do you see them? In the welfare lines. Shocking fact is 65% of welfare recipients are actually whites. They're whites. But when you watch TV, it's all the Latinos that come from south of the border and they've come in here and they have 7 kids and they are illegal and that's what you hear.